Okay guys, I'm going to show you something, a little list that I came up with here. And I had put this on my Facebook site about 2 days ago. But let's go through it. The first thing I came up with is a month and a half, about a 7 times return spread on options. So let's say this is June 1st. You buy the spread about 6 strikes out on Microsoft. Be about for a buck and a half, maybe $2. And then a month and a half later, boom, big return. Let's take a look at the how. Okay. So, one second here. Let's look at the market as of a month and a half ago, which would be June 1st. So we're looking at the daily. And here we are now around 202. However, on June 1st, we were at 180. Okay, we're about at 180. So let's take a look at the options from that vantage point. So if you go back to 180 here on the option tables, and this is for expiration this coming week. This is what would have happened if you had gotten in then. So at 180, so right now, for example, it's at 205. If you went 6 strikes out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're at about 150. Okay. So here it was at 180 from a month and a half ago, and then here's what we're ending up with now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, actually 6 is about right here if you don't count the current. Now let's take a look at the last 2 months of what this did. Hitting the quote right here. Come on, there we go. So you can see, wow, it went up to $25. So let's look at the 2 month. So we can expand that a bit and take a good look at this. Come on. A little slow, I got a lot of windows open. It's working. There we go. Now check this out. We got in about right here, just under 5, maybe $4. And then it went up to about $25. Okay, so now if you bought a spread on the calls and the puts, about 6 strikes out, you can make somewhere between 5 and 7 times your money, which more than covers the other side of the spread, which would be a 1 time basically. And you can make some pretty good money with that. And you could just do that. You could do that every month and a half. And the nice thing is options on this kind of stuff expire like the 3rd week and the 4th week. So you could do it twice every month and a half. So there's that on the list. The next thing I want to talk about is this green ribbon on the 5 minutes. So go to Microsoft, select 5 minutes, and you have this green ribbon here. Okay. And if you want to go to my website that I put a link on, it'll show you all the indicators I use. Anyway, this green ribbon here, I believe it's the CM Laguerre PPO percent rank tops bottoms. Anyway, that's the name of the indicator, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Whenever you see a green ribbon with these histograms coming down into it, basically that's a signal for a bottom, and you can basically get in and then, maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 places out of the money, strikes out of the money, and just set your return for 150% gain. 150% gain. So whatever you get into, take a calculator and figure 150% gain for that option price and just set it and walk away, and it'll probably trigger by itself. Okay. 3 piles, I'd say. Don't have to, it works pretty good, so you don't have to keep increasing your money. Say if you want 3 piles of, and you're just playing like 50-cent options or $1.50 options. It depends on what your risk tolerance is, but it's pretty smooth. Sometimes it doesn't work, then you just keep going. You don't have to increase, you don't have to push. Just every time you see one of those green histogram bottoms, here you go, another one with the histograms going into it. Now this was more of an extended bottom, and whenever you see like a big bubble like this with a brown DI line above it and the blue DI line below it, you wait for them to cross. Whenever you see like a long green stretch, you wait for the cross here, and then the histogram, that's when it's time to get in. Set it for 150% gain, and boom, it probably sells either right here or right here. Okay, and again, it happens here. You could also do it here, and boom, 150% gain. And you just keep doing this, like 3 piles, because what's happening is this is pressure at the bottom. The market wants to go up. Pressure at the bottom. The market wants to go up. Okay, here it is again. Here it is again. So when you see these things, especially when there's a histogram line coming into it. Here, there wasn't really in the lighter green section, which I like to see it in, but you still could have done it there. Okay, so whenever you see these green bottoms, that's pressure going up. The market wants to go up, and that's when I buy and just set for 150%, and then I walk away from it. 3 different piles, 45 cents to $1.50 each, and just keep doing it forever. Okay, hold on 1 second. Little correction. On the 5 minutes, you want to set it for 50% gains. Okay, whenever you see the green ribbon on the bottom with the histograms in it, 50% gains, not 150%. Once again, set it for 50% gains. So these are 50% gains, and it happens maybe once or twice a day. You know what I mean? You could get in. You don't want to get hit with the day trading thing, so you can hold them overnight usually. So 50% gains. Now, the 150% gains are with 1 hour. Okay? So with the 1 hour, it doesn't happen all the time. Okay? Happens maybe twice a month. But here's where the gains are 150%. Okay, because you can see that's at 176, and that jumps to 185. So with these gains, it's 150%. With the 5 minutes, it's 50% gains. So on the 1 hour, you can go with 150% gains. This happens about twice a month, and you can compound this. And if you do the math while you're compounding this, because it's pretty legit, and it pretty much happens almost every single time, you can end up with quite a bit of amount of money here. So this is happening about twice a month. So you can see when it hits that bottom, and then you get in, you just set it for 150% gain, and just walk away, and boom, it keeps happening over and over again. So once again, the 1 hour, it's twice a month, 150% gain, walk away, preset it for. And with the 5 minutes, it happens like about twice a day, once a day, and you set that for 50% gains. Okay, this next thing is called the UK CM system, and this was invented by a viewer of this channel. So this is how this works. Okay, you have the chart with the CM and the God mode. We're not really using the God mode for this, but what this is we see when this color change happens, over here on the previous chart, you have this DM line. You only have action if the DM line is below 20. So the DM line is this solid pink line. When it's below 20 and there's a color change, you could get in and just preset it for 50% gain. So right here, it just turned. So let's go back to here. It's underneath the 20 line. Okay, so that's a green light, and it just changed from green to red. So that's an entry. So that would be puts for Microsoft, because we're using Microsoft as an example. So on the other chart, it was below 20. It just changed to red. So you could just get in, purchase it, purchase a put close to the money as you can, and then just set it for a 50% gain and just walk away. Now, once again, you don't necessarily have to be at the money. And also, you need to be about, I'd say, 1 or 2 weeks out. Usually 2 weeks out for the system works the best, I've found. And you just set it for a 50% gain and walk away. Now, you can do this on different time frames. The time frames that this works on, but you have to have both charts on the same time frame. You could do 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute, and 1 hour. Okay, which means you'll have to be scanning and looking around. Let's go to 30. Let's change this to 30. Okay, now that's going to change the mechanics of the chart. The DM line is going to be in different areas, so you have to make sure on all four, though, the thing that's the same is it has to be under 20 for you to take any action. So if you see that it's under 20 for a specific point in time, then you see a recent color change, then you could get in. Now, if it's under 20 and it's, you know, like over here, and you don't see any color change, well, then there's no action. You know, you don't do anything. It has to be a recent color change, and you look and it's under 20, then you can get in. Depending on, you know, if it's red, you get puts. If it goes green, you do calls. And you could do this for the 15, the 30, the 45, and the 1 hour time frames for all of these. So that's pretty much it. That's a lot of information that I got packed in here, but basically that's what I'm running. I recently come up with all this about half a week ago. So once again, I'm doing the month and a half, about 7 times return, which is a spread, and on Microsoft, and I usually, you know, it's a month and a half out, and that's where I buy the options for a month and a half out. Okay, and that usually, if the market goes one way or another and doesn't do this, which it usually doesn't most of the time, the market's usually pulling up or pulling down in the long term, usually pulling up, and you make about 7 times return. Then I do the 5-minute green ribbon that I showed you earlier, and that's a 50% return each time. Then the 1 hour green ribbon, and that's about twice a month. And then that thing I'm calling Excalibur, that's just that's the other thing that I showed you from the first video, how to find the tops and bottoms of Microsoft so you can find the extreme moves. And the nice thing about that is sometimes those moves can be like 600%. Then I just showed you the UK 15, 30, 45, 60 at the end of the video. And then as always, I'm always looking around for the 3-week climb, 2-day drop. And if you look at some of my older videos, I show you how to do that and how to go through the earnings calendar to find these. I show you how to do that there, and that's basically what I'm running, guys. Okay, thanks for watching.